Welcome to 2026 and Happy New Year. I hope you've had a very relaxing Christmas and New Year period. I certainly did. I'm back in Sanur now, just giving a bit of an update on what I felt were some of the best things that I did over the past year. But not just the best things, the best places I ate, best places I went, and just some random best of during the year. I really had a great 2025 and I feel like I never stopped learning new things, discovering new things about Bali and Indonesia. One of the great things about living here in Bali is that you're always discovering new places. It never gets boring for me. There's a new word in the Indonesian lexicon which is called Nataru, and that's what we're experiencing right now. It's Natal, Tahun Baru, New Year period, Christmas New Year period, and there's heaps of families here having a great time down at the beach over this Christmas New Year period. It's a crazy time in Indonesia. Everyone's on holidays. They get a really big holiday over the Christmas New Year period, as well as over the Ramadan period, or the end of Ramadan, the Idul Fitri period, when they have another big holiday. So there's some really big holidays here in Indonesia, and they try and give some big holidays to some of the major religions. The good thing about the word Natal and Tahun Baru, Natal means Christmas. You can just say Selamat Natal and you just say Merry Christmas to someone. So that Selamat is actually a greeting, or a word that you can use in front of a lot of different terms to really congratulate people on something. By the same token, you can say Selamat Tahun Baru, which is Happy New Year, or you can even say Selamat Ulang Tahun, which is Happy Birthday. So let's start talking about what some of my favourites have been throughout the year. First up is my favourite local food. Now it's a really tough choice because I had some really good ones, but the best one that I remember is Mentingan in Sanur, straight across from the bypass near the market called Pasar Intaran. That's probably my favourite local food of the year. It's new to me, but obviously has been around for many years. There's been some other noteworthy contenders as well. One of them's been Samsam Guling Meraka, which is basically, well, it's like babi guling, but it's actually just the pork belly which is rolled. And that's just been an unreal meal to have from time to time. And I absolutely have to mention Standard Local, which is in Tabanan. It was an amazing smoky pork sausage, really chunky, not like Indonesian sausages I'm generally used to. This one just had big chunks of meat and fat in it, local style, a real smoky flavour and a real traditional way of making them as well. I'll link to the video of that in the description below, because that one is just a brilliant one to have and worth going out of your way for. It's quite a few hours from the south of most of Bali, but still brilliant. Okay, so the next one I've got to talk about is new coffee in Sanur, and to be honest, I've tried quite a few new coffees in Sanur and none of them for me come to the standards that I really love. So still, my favourites are Bare Bottle, Mushroom Espresso and Cafe Bloom. All very good. My favourite new pizza is called Pure Pizza on the west side of the bypass in Sanur. Now that one is a thin crust pizza. I really love the toppings, generous, quite oily, which I really like. A totally different pizza to Pizza and Go, which I also love. But this is a new one for me and I really love it. I'm just down here at pantai Mertasari in Sanur, and I just wanted to show you this. So basically that little wall there of sandbags has been destroyed, and now the water is able to get further inland and escape that way as well. And now this area here is now sort of being dug out by the ocean as it spills in at these super high tides that we've been having. Of course, there's just rubbish everywhere. It looks disgraceful, but this is all reclaimed land anyway. This whole car park area is reclaimed land, and you know, a long time ago, the shoreline was way back over there. And I've heard they might actually be moving it back to the old shoreline. I don't know if that's going to be the case because this is used quite often for events, but that'd be interesting if that happened. Best new sandwich is Datu in Sanur. I love that sandwich. I had a couple of different sandwiches there, but they've got only about 4 or 5, I think, on the menu. It's a really small menu, but each one, the quality is just awesome. I think it's underrated. When I was there, no one there, and I think it needs to be much busier because it's just so good. I really love that sandwich, and they do a good coffee too. So give Datu a go. I think it's, yeah, definitely my new favourite sandwich in Sanur. So I did a bit of travel this year, and my favourite place in 2025 outside of Bali has been Flores. I had a wonderful trip there to Flores, went on the slow boat, the penalty ferry overnight to Sumbawa, and then made my way overland and on another ferry to Flores. That place is just amazing. I've already been to Flores a number of times before in past decades, but this time I just really enjoyed getting on a motorbike and just exploring a little bit. I think things have changed a lot in Flores in some places, and in other places it's exactly the same as it's always been. It's just a brilliant place to get off the beaten track and probably explore a part of Indonesia that's, to be honest, a little bit underexplored, except for the key places like Komodo and Labuan Bajo. My favourite budget accommodation this year in Sanur has been Linda Villas 2. Really love that place. I think it was costing about 500,000 a night, and of course that varies depending on the season. But that place for a budget accommodation is brilliant. Ultra clean, massive long swimming pool, pretty quiet in there, a little relaxing garden area with a bit of fake grass on there. I think it was fake grass. Some nice cats, a good communal area, and the rooms were just really comfortable, I think. Linda Villas 2. I really love that place. A bit of a discovery for me this year has been the islands over here in Indonesia. I mean, there's a lot of different ones you can choose from as well. I mean, you can go Nusa Lembongan, Nusa Penida, Nusa Ceningan, and then the Gili's. I went to quite a few islands this year, and my favourite one out of all of them has to be Gili Meno. And that's mainly because it's so quiet and it has that real tropical paradise feel to it. It has some amenity, but it's just not overdeveloped yet, and it's still quite quiet compared to the other Gilis. Gili means island in the local language there, so I always have to catch myself. I'm about to say Gili Islands, but it's not, because that'd be island. That'd be like saying baby calf or something like that. So yeah, the Gilis, really enjoyed those. Gili Meno for sure. I went there a couple of times and loved it. A bit different to Nusa Lembongan in that Nusa Lembongan has a much more Balinese feel to it. A lot more developed than Gili Meno as well, although I've got to say, I really do love Nusa Lembongan as well, and I can see myself going back there a lot more in the future. I've done a fair bit of travel all around Bali as well this year, and you know, trying to find my favourite place this year, or favourite new place this year, has been quite difficult. I think I've settled on Cinnamon. I really enjoyed Cinnamon because I think at this point in time it's just got the right balance of remoteness but also amenity as well. Some places that you go in Bali, if they're quite remote, they can be absolutely stunning, but there are some inconveniences involved, like you might not be able to get food so readily in the immediate area, or you might feel like you're a little bit isolated. But Cinnamon has that remote feeling, but there's still heaps of good food there, heaps of cafes, and you can walk to most of it as well. It's a really good place. If you're a walker, Cinnamon is a great place for walkers because there's lots of rice field walks. You can walk down to the markets, you can walk to all the different cafes, which are a little bit spread out, but not so spread out that you can't walk them. If you're not a good walker, that can be a bit of a problem because some of those distances might be a kilometre, and if you don't like to walk a kilometre, it could be a little bit too much for you. I've been thinking about my favourite local food this year, or the food that I tried for the first time in terms of local food this year, and I think I'm settling on a place called Rumah Makan or Nasi Padang Simpang Ampek. Yeah, I can't remember if it's warung or Rumah Makan or Nasi Padang or whatever, but basically it's a Padang style food and it's called Simpang Ampek. Now I really love it. I actually had it last night. I get 3 main dishes there. I get the beef rendang, of course. I also get jackfruit curry, and I get a big fat percadelle, like a potato fritter. I absolutely love that place. The taste is just fantastic. I actually went there with Mita and Juni and Susan, a couple of friends of ours, for the first time, and we just had an absolute feast there, and we've had it as a takeaway so many times since then. Just beautiful, beautiful food. It's Padang style, and if you really want to try Indonesian food, Padang's one of the staples in Indonesia. You have to learn how to deal with that food and learn what your favourites are within that particular genre, because I think it's just wonderful. That sort of brings me to the next point about Indonesian food, and I've been talking a little bit about Indonesian food in the past, and I think in my previous video I talked about Thai food versus Indonesian food as one of the main points, and the problem is that education around Indonesian food is pretty poor. Most of us don't really know a lot about it, and I'm way off the ball when it comes to a lot of the different genres inside Indonesian food. So Padang is a whole universe of food. And a lot of different areas of Indonesia are like that, where you have a whole universe of food within Indonesia. And learning about each universe of food requires you to learn what you like and what you don't like within that particular stream. And it's just an entire process, and it's a lifetime sort of challenge to try and learn about all the different foods and what you like and what you don't like. But in Padang food, I've sort of got a fair idea what I like now. They're my favourite dishes. I also usually get a bit of I think it's called daun singkong, basically leaves from a singkong plant, stir fried. That's pretty nice. It was pretty plain, but I mean, it's green veg. I mean, you can't expect too much. While I've been away in Thailand, apparently there's been some quite significant flooding here in Sanur and around Bali, really, in the southern part of Bali. And even I noticed out the front of my house, when I look at my camera, I've got a little camera that sort of can film live outside, and I noticed that the level of the water on my street was almost knee deep. Like, it's the highest I'd ever seen it. So it must have been pretty bad, the rain. But today, and I've just gotten back, it's pretty nice. Like, look at that, beautiful blue sky, a bit, like there's a bit of cloud around as well, but it's not too bad at all. It's quite hot, quite humid. But yeah, just quite nice weather today. But I think given it's the wet season, I think you can just get some random downpours at any time of day. A lot of people say, oh no, it's pretty consistent, that it's always in the afternoon or whatever, but I find it in Bali, it's not like that so much. I found that when I was in Java, a little bit more consistency with wet season weather, but here in Bali, it seems to be a lot more inconsistent and a lot more random. So where am I going with the channel in 2026? Well, we're now in 2026, and I've sort of been thinking how the past year has been for me in terms of the channel and where we're going to go. And I've been trying to evolve the channel to keep it relevant, to make sure that I'm giving people what they want, because there's no point making videos that no one's going to watch or no one likes. And one of the things that I have done is that I've been speaking a lot more Indonesian on the channel. Up until about February last year, I rarely spoke a word of Indonesian on the channel at all. I purposely did not speak any Indonesian. And the reason is that I have this thing about speaking Indonesian where when you hear other foreigners speak Indonesian, sometimes it can come off, well, a little bit like a show off. So sometimes I hear some foreigners speaking Indonesian really fluently but very poorly. So they'll be fluent in terms of it sounds like it's good, but it's actually really bad. And you hear that quite a lot from people who have been here for a long time, and they'll see another foreigner and then they think that foreigner is a tourist. So what they'll do, they'll then go and speak really fast to a local. I don't know, it's just a weird, like, I don't know, it's just one of these weird things that people do. They're trying to show off a little bit to a tourist that's in town. And I don't want to be that guy. So I made an effort just not to do it at all. And I didn't want to draw criticism from people who are better Indonesian speakers than me. That was the whole thing for me. I really made an effort, just don't speak Indonesian. I just purposely didn't even speak to locals in Indonesian because of it. Or if I did it off camera and then spoke the translation back to the camera. But in 2025, I really made an effort to change things around a bit after a lot of advice from a lot of you guys out there that said, hey, go and speak to these people in Indonesia. They've probably got some good stories. And so I've done that. I've evolved in that direction. I will keep doing that in 2026 as well, because I think you get some really good stories from people, and I've sort of been able to tuck that bit of anxiety in my back pocket about sort of being called out for trying to show off about language and that sort of thing. I know that it probably sounds a bit weird that I'm worried about these things. The thing is, on YouTube, and when you put yourself out in public like this, you're opening yourself up to criticism all the time. And there are critics on most videos. Like, there's people that don't agree, that's okay, but people, you know, not liking what you do. So you just got to be careful. You've got to tread a pretty fine line. You don't want to upset people either. But by the same token, you've got to be true to yourself. And that's a really hard line to sort of navigate. And a lot of us YouTubers do it the best we can, but you've got to sometimes just take stock of what you're doing. And for example, I can't really go and criticize, like, for example, the Indonesian government. I just can't do that. Or locals, you know, and I don't want to do it anyway. But, you know, you can't really do that because you open yourself up well, to deportation basically. You know, if you start offending people and upsetting the community, you're no longer going to be welcome in the country. So I do keep that in mind with a lot of different things that I do, not just when it comes to Balinese, Indonesians and the government, but also with general viewers as well. You know, you don't want to be cancelled for a view on something, you know. Not that I've got controversial views anyway, but you know what I'm saying. One of the things that people have been telling me I need to do is go to Java, because that's where I spent so much time in the past, and I will do that. I've actually got plans to go back to Bandung in West Java and do a bit of a sort of a look around there, speak to some of the people there, show you a bit of the town. It's not like Bali, that's for sure, but I feel pretty comfortable there. Other parts of Java I plan to do as well. I sort of am thinking of doing a motorcycle trip, although I could do public transport as well into East Java, because that's really easy to get to from Bali. Like, East Java is just so close. Like, there's just a short ferry ride and you're in Java already. It's so easy to do from Bali, and I think I'll do that as well, but I'm sort of targeting Bandung first. That's sort of what I'm feeling at the moment, mainly because Susan wants to go and visit a few family members and so forth, and while I'm there I may as well show you around a bit. Of course, I still plan to keep going around Bali and discovering new places and going to places that I've already been, but sort of taking them on with a different sort of frame of mind, from a different angle, maybe showing you some other aspects of places that we already know. But you know, for example, when I went to Lavina, I found when I went there, because I went there with a different frame of mind last time, it sort of opened up a few different places to me, and I quite enjoyed it. Chandi Dasa, I think I need to get back there and have a bit of a better look around. I know that big beachfront path's going in, and Chandi Dasa is one of those unloved places by the masses, but it does still have that loyal, hardcore following of people, and I know a lot of viewers of this channel absolutely love Chandi Dasa, and I want to love that place as well. I don't love it yet. I can see some appeal there, so I want to go back and just sort of see what I can dig up there as well. There's a few places surrounding Chandi Dasa that I wouldn't mind having a look at as well. Some of the more jungle areas, that could be nice. And of course, I'm still going to keep you updated on all things Sanur, because that's sort of the heartland, the core of this channel. That's always going to be there, even as I try to expand into different areas and perhaps try and keep the channel a little bit more relevant. I mean, you can only do so many videos on what's going on in Sanur, and then it gets a little bit boring. Of course, I'll keep doing Sanur videos, but it's not going to be like 4 videos a week, all Sanur. And to be honest, that's what 2025 was like anyway. I mean, I didn't do a heap of Sanur videos. I did the back streets, which I'll keep doing, but I didn't do this beachfront path a heap, because I mean, there's only so many times you can walk up and down this path and show people, oh, this is the Puri Santrian. Like, it gets a bit boring, doesn't it? I almost forgot to tell you what my absolute favourite new place of all of 25 was. It's actually Jungle Tree. That for me just hit all the right spots. I love the cocktails there. Value for money's there as well. I don't think it's too expensive for the quality on offer. Jungle Tree was just fantastic, a fantastic find for me. Some of you have obviously been there a lot and you really sort of rave about it. But for me, it was all new and I just loved it. I loved discovering it for myself and then being able to share what I felt about it with you guys as well, because I know that a lot of people will love that place. I know it's already popular. Like, I went there a few times when it was difficult to get into, you had to book. So I know it's already popular, but there are a lot of people that probably still don't know about it that will love it. Really, that's just one of the best places in Sanur right now, I think. I think the thing that for me about Jungle Tree was that it has a bit of an old school feeling to it, even though the food's fairly modern. It's Indonesian food, but it's got a modernish twist to it. It's not like a warung, so it's a little bit upmarket, but upmarket in a local way. Well, not even a local way, upmarket in an old-fashioned way. It's really nice. Just observing the crowds down here on the beachfront path today, and thinking back to a lot what's going on social media a lot in the Indonesian social media space. There is so much talk about how quiet Bali is at the moment. All the drivers and all the restaurants are saying, oh, it's so quiet, it's so quiet. The term is Bali sepi. Bali is quiet. I'm not seeing it here in Sanur along this beachfront path. It looks pretty busy to me, actually. It's busier than, you know, almost all of the year except probably June, July, August. Like, it's busy. I'm not sure if people are saying Bali sepi in a particular area, but where I've been walking here looks pretty busy. It's just a beautiful day to be back in Sanur, and I hope that you too can make it back to Sanur in the very near future. Make it back to Bali, the place that you love, you know, the place that you always dream of going to, that you probably have a pretty close connection with. I love it here. I don't think I'm ever going to hate it. Things change, but you know, Bali always evolves and adapts to new things, and I'm really loving it here in Bali. I think 2026 is going to be a great year for me in Bali, and I hope it's a great year for you wherever you are watching this video. Thanks for watching. Make sure you hit that subscribe button to keep up to date with all things Sanur, the rest of Indonesia. I'll catch you next time, and sampai jumpa.